Hello and welcome to this year's art show. The art in this show is from students from pre-nursery to year 6 and it's all mixed in together. I think this is a fun way of doing it because it shows variation in art but also means that the children and the families have to sort of explore to find where their art would be. You'll see that there's a lot of subcategories. My intention was to have 3 or 4. And my intention is always to have 3 or 4. However, I usually hit the 18, 19 mark. And I think that's about what we have here. The subcategories or the categories are related to the children's units of inquiry. So all of my lessons I try to tailor to what they're learning in class. So there are things like transport, movement, literature. You can see here there's literature. This can be either musical or written, so I think these artworks were inspired by poetry, the Jabberwocky and the Bare Necessities. I love a Disney song and I do like to include music in my art lessons just because I like a nice relaxed vibe, but it also helps to see that art is not just a standalone subject. We're not an island, we're related to everything. There's a lot of different mediums used and substrates used. You'll see there's some paintings on foil, there's some more paper manipulation sculptural pieces. There's not as much 3-dimensional work this year due to the fact that I was away for the first semester or term. I was on maternity leave, so this is about a term and a half's worth of work. We look at different art movements, impressionism, and ideas and concepts such as memento mori, which is where the skulls are from. I do love a skull, so yeah, I just love skulls. I think they're really pretty. Here we have art that's inspired by mindfulness and more focus on the process of making art as opposed to the final product. I think nowadays we're always looking for that Instagram perfect or that final product, and sometimes it's just about enjoying the process, taking time, taking a moment for yourself. And when I chat with the children, we always talk about, if something doesn't end up how you imagined it to be, that's okay as long as you enjoyed making it at the time. These are 1-point perspective drawings. So I do teach technical elements such as how to create depth, texture, shadow, shade, value, line, all those sorts of things. So these are for the older children. But the plinths were created by the nursery 2, or the nursery 1 is the one in the corner. So we painted boxes and used oil pastels to add mark making. It's always fun to paint a box. I always love painting a box. Here you can see some paper weaving created into lanterns, and the houses are actually due with team houses. There's some mono printing. I originally studied mono printing, surface design, textiles, so I think sometimes as a teacher what we study and our interests always comes through in the art, even if we do try not to. These CDs were a lot of fun, but I will have to think how to display them next time because every morning I had to put them back up again. We invited families, teachers to join in the art show this year. So you'll see a few pieces around the art show that are done by our community. The fox is actually mine. The children did ask me if I was going to put in some art, and it seemed unreasonable not to. So that's mine. For the younger children especially, because you always think, what am I going to teach for the younger ones? We look at a lot of feelings and how we can express ourselves through art. So the more abstract pieces tend to be the younger ones. I am a massive Vincent van Gogh fan, so he usually appears somewhere in the art shows. Like I said, this is the plinth by the nursery 1 and the pre-nursery, and these pictures are inspired by Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers. So although we could copy the art. I think it's more important that the children talk about what they like, what they don't like, and take inspiration as opposed to copying. The pre-nursery and nursery 1 created these canvases, and we read a lot about underwater sort of themed books. I do tend to read a book and then we go from there. En plein air is a large part of art, especially in my classroom, because that's the way you get better at drawing, is to draw from real life. And also, we're very lucky we have an outdoor area that we can draw, so I like to get out in the sunshine. These are mobiles created by pre-nursery and nursery. And yeah, I like to have a selection of heights in the art show, like high, medium, low. And this is some more sculptural work from the younger children. This will be our one and only art show because the school that I work at is actually closing. So I was really glad that we were able to do something that the parents could see all their beautiful artworks in sort of all togetherness before I gave them back to the children and they leave, which is sad, but we'll see what the future has in store. They did such beautiful artwork, and it's such a lovely memory for me as well. I mean, I've been with them for 3 years, so I know a lot of these children well, and yeah, maybe I'll see some of them in my new school once I get a new school. But Singapore's a small place, so we'll probably see each other around. Thank you for joining me on our art show tour, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!